no secret, dogs are truly man's best friend. They bring us comfort and joy throughout life.
And today's community sponsor, it's Sunset Funeral Home. They're introducing us to Aunt B. Erin Brodbeck, Director of Grief Services, and Linda Darby Dowers, the CEO and owner there at Sunset Funeral Homes, is here with their comfort dog, Aunt B. So introduce us. Tell me about Aunt B.
Yes, this is Aunt B, and she's 10 months, almost 11 months old, and she's, many times people want to know what she is. So she's a mini golden doodle. And so we've done a lot of research on what types of dogs would be good for people and in the funeral home and that type of setting. And so we did a lot of research, and the golden doodles were #1. So
other than the wet nose and the breathing and moving and stuff, she looked like she could be stuffed. I mean, she's that cute and perfect.
Yes, you know, I tried to rescue a dog. I went to look to see if we could rescue a dog but there was you just don't always know. And having to be responsible for a dog in the funeral home, I had to make sure that the type of dog that we got was one that was going to do what we needed to do. And so we decided to go this route.
Oh my goodness, well, she's just adorable, and there is just something so comforting about dogs, and so that just perfectly coincides with the services that you provide with people who are experiencing grief and maybe struggling. So let's talk about your services there that you provide, you know, families who are mourning and coping with loss.
Yeah, so I'm actually a licensed clinical social worker, so I can provide one-on-one counseling services, as well as, you know, hooking people up with, you know, other resources in the community. Of course, talking about Aunt B, actually, Aunt B and I have actually teamed up here. We're kind of presentation buddies. I have a couple presentations that I give to local schools or other organizations, and she's been coming along with me too. So, you know, just education and comfort, it just, it kind of goes hand in hand.
How do you determine when to bring Aunt B into the mix? Obviously with schools, when you're going to talk about things, that makes lots of sense, but in an actual session with someone, how do you know when that makes sense and when it doesn't?
Well, I mean, if somebody's comfortable with the dog being there from the get-go, that's fine. I mean, I actually have clients, you know, that I see outside of the funeral home that have comfort dogs as well, and they bring them into session with them. So if they're cool with her being in there at the time, it's great. Some people don't like dogs, and that's okay too. And so if they would prefer not to have her, you know, that's good too. So it just depends on the person.
Apparently Aunt B has her own email address, I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That's pretty spectacular.
So look at her there. Oh my word. I know we're looking at pictures of her in action, but here she is just laying on the carpet, her little tail just a wagging. So when she's at the funeral home, is she out like during a visitation, or is she more like at the family's request, or how do you know when's the right time to bring her out?
It really varies on the circumstance, the family and whatnot. We start her out at the door because she's fairly new. We're just introducing her. So we do finally start having people, they actually request her. But we walk around, we stay at the front door, we greet people, and then sometimes the kids will come out and they'll wander, and we kind of just play it by ear to see how the families feel with it.
Oh my word.
It sounds like she's making an appearance coming up here in a few weeks, yes?
Yes.
Or the one at Autumn Fields.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And she got an email. That was one of her very first emails to see if she could go and visit the guests at Autumn Fields. So we are so excited to go and visit. She's done one at Colonial Manor, and the residents loved her. So she's just a joy, and she loves
How could you not love her?
Right? Oh my goodness.
It's a rough life. She's got a pretty good gig.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you have to do she says in training there on her little her vest there. So what are you doing to train her and make sure that she's ready to go?
I have raised her since she was a puppy, and so we've done just training one-on-one, she and I. This is not my first dog, so someone said earlier that the dogs don't get better, the trainers get a little bit better, and I do think that's true. So, and then we've worked with Carolyn Daniels, and she's done some training with us and with our staff so that we all say the same things to her. We're all treating her the same way, and really her job is not like a service dog. It's not quite as intense. Her dog is just, or her job is just to love on people, and it's a pretty good gig.
You're not going to fold laundry or anything, or help people across the street?
She likes socks.
Oh,
she likes socks, yes.
So watch out for those.
She likes
what
socks.
do you see over there, huh?
Oh my God.
She's dad.
Yeah, she does. She's giving them the eyes right there.
Yes.
Any stories from experiences of maybe having Aunt B or in schools or anything like that?
Nothing yet. I mean, like Linda said, she's new, and I know that, you know, research out there has supported, having animals in, not only funeral homes, but hospitals and just any type of healing environment is very beneficial. So for the stories, stay tuned.
That's right.
You know what? There is one really good story. The kids say, that she talked to them about making sure and talk about how you feel. And sometimes the kids say, I'm concerned about how other kids might talk or might say what I'm saying. They say, dogs don't tell your secrets.
That's true.
And so we're like, oh, that's really good. Dogs don't tell secrets.
Oh,
Especially the cute ones like that.
we appreciate you all coming.
Thanks for
having us.
sharing
Bring Aunt B by any time.
Yes, we need all the comfort, right?
Yes, we do. We will
right.
connect you with all the details about
staff
Aunt
loves
B
them.
and her email address, all that kind of stuff at our website, which is ciLiving.tv.